What if I told you that the original Underdogs to Champions story wasn't Rocky, but actually happened 2,400 years ago? When a nobody city took on the ancient world's most terrifying military machine and, spoiler alert, absolutely crushed them? Welcome to the ultimate ancient Greek rivalry that history class somehow forgot to mention. This isn't just any war story. This is Thebes versus Sparta. The battle that shattered the myth of Spartan invincibility and completely rewrote the power dynamics of the ancient world. Hey, history fans! Before we dive in, smash that subscribe button and ring that notification bell to join our historical adventure squad. Now let's get into this wild ride through ancient Greece. Let's set the scene. It's the 4th century BCE, and Sparta is basically the ancient world's equivalent of that intimidating gym bro who never skips leg day. For centuries, they've been the undisputed military champions of Greece. Their warriors are legendary, their reputation is terrifying, and nobody, and I mean nobody, beats Sparta on the battlefield. And then there's Thebes. Thebes was like the middle manager of Greek cities, respectable enough, but nobody was writing epic poems about them. They were overshadowed by Athens' philosophy and art, and completely outclassed by Sparta's military might. In the popularity contest of ancient Greece, Thebes was firmly in the others receiving votes category. But here's where it gets interesting. If I told you that the greatest military innovation in ancient Greece didn't come from Sparta or Athens, but from this overlooked city, let's talk about the absolute game changer that flipped the Greek world upside down. Enter the sacred band of Thebes. 300 elite soldiers with a twist that would make even the Spartans do a double take. These weren't just random warriors thrown together. Each pair consisted of a couple. Yes, you heard that right. A couple. The Thebans believed that lovers would fight harder to protect each other and show greater bravery. And let me tell you, that relationship-based fighting force was effective. But the real mastermind behind Thebes' rise was Epaminondas. Think of him as the Steve Jobs of ancient warfare, completely reinventing how battles were fought. While everyone else was still using the traditional phalanx formation with equal depth across the line, Epaminondas said, "Hold my wine cup," and created the oblique formation, stacking his best troops 50 shields deep on one wing while keeping the other intentionally weak. It's like putting all your best players on one side of the field and telling them to crush it while the other side just tries not to get scored on. Sparta never saw it coming. Speaking of things Sparta never saw coming, let's talk about the battle that literally changed the course of Greek history forever. Buckle up, because this is where things get wild. The year is 371 BCE. The location? Leuctra. The stakes? Everything. Sparta shows up with their usual swagger, certain they're about to add another victory to their near-perfect record. After all, they had never been defeated in a major land battle. Ever. Their confidence was so high they probably had victory feasts planned for later that evening. Meanwhile, Epaminondas is about to flip the script on conventional warfare. Instead of matching Sparta's formation, he stacks his left wing with the sacred band and his best troops 50 shields deep, absolutely massive compared to the standard 8 to 12 shields. Then, he does something even more radical. He refuses his right wing, intentionally holding them back. The Spartans, creatures of habit that they were, place their elite forces on their right wing, directly opposite Thebes' stacked left. It's like watching a chess master set up an opponent for checkmate. When the battle begins, Epaminondas' heavy left wing crashes into the Spartan elite like a wrecking ball through a paper wall. The sacred band cuts through the Spartan line, and, plot twist, the Spartan king Cleombrotus is killed in the fighting. Let me repeat that. The Spartan king dies on the battlefield. This is the equivalent of watching the final boss get defeated in the first level of the game. Sparta's entire military reputation, built over centuries, unraveled in a matter of hours. But if you thought that was shocking, wait until you see what Thebes did next. This is where the Underdog story goes from surprising to straight-up revolutionary. After Leuctra, Thebes didn't just celebrate and go home. They went all in on their advantage. Epaminondas marched into Sparta itself, something no enemy had ever done before. Imagine the psychological impact of seeing enemy troops in your supposedly impenetrable homeland. But the real power move? Thebes liberated Messenia, the region Sparta had enslaved for centuries to provide their agricultural workforce. This wasn't just a military blow, it was an economic knockout punch. Without Messenian helots working their fields, Sparta's entire all we do is train for war lifestyle collapsed like a house of cards in a hurricane. For the next decade, Thebes was the undisputed powerhouse of Greece. The city everyone overlooked became the city everyone feared. It's like if your quiet neighbor suddenly revealed they were a secret billionaire superhero. But as they say, all good things must come to an end. And the end of Thebes' glory days came in a way that would make even Shakespeare say, "That's a bit too dramatic, don't you think?" In 362 BCE, at the Battle of Mantinea, Thebes faced a coalition of Greek states including, you guessed it, a revenge-hungry Sparta. Epaminondas once again led his forces to victory using his innovative tactics. But, and this is a Greek tragedy-sized but, he was mortally wounded in the battle. With his dying breath, Epaminondas allegedly advised the Thebans to make peace, knowing that no one else could maintain their dominance. Talk about dramatic timing. It's like the coach dying right after winning the championship game. Without their military genius, Theban power gradually declined. And just a few decades later, a new player entered the game. Philip II of Macedon and his son, some guy named Alexander. Maybe you've heard of him? They eventually conquered Thebes and sold its citizens into slavery. The city that had briefly shined as Greece's brightest star was reduced to ruins. But their legacy, proving that Sparta wasn't invincible and revolutionizing military tactics, changed the course of history forever. The Thebes-Sparta Wars teach us something powerful that applies even today. Reputations are just that, reputations. No one is unbeatable forever. The Theban rise shows us that innovation and courage can overcome even the most intimidating opponents. Epaminondas and the Sacred Band proved that sometimes all it takes is looking at a problem differently to solve what everyone else thought was impossible. They didn't just beat Sparta, they completely rewrote the rules of warfare. So next time you're facing your own Sparta, that seemingly unbeatable challenge, remember Thebes. Sometimes the underdog doesn't just have their day. They change the game entirely. That's it for today's historical throwdown. If you enjoyed this epic tale of ancient underdogs, hit that like button harder than Epaminondas hit the Spartan line. Comment below with what ancient rivalry you want me to cover next. And don't forget to subscribe for more historical deep dives that school never taught you. Until next time, keep questioning the unquestionable and remember, even the mightiest Sparta has its Leuctra.